Good evening and welcome back to what is proving to be a very painful experience that we are having here at Ipswich. However, results have taken a little turn for the better of late, and we have gone 5 games unbeaten. Good evening, Sudhir. How are you? Nice to see you here. And we have gone 5 games unbeaten, and I guess that's probably the best run we've been on since pre-season. So maybe things are taking a turn for the better, and a lot of that might be due to the team bonding that's been going on. I've been scheduling a lot of team bonding. We have one coming up next week. Looks like it's time to put in a few more, I guess. I wasn't planning to go into December, but we might do once every 3 weeks now that we're coming to December. I don't know, haven't made my mind up on that one. We've got games against Panathinaikos, against Norwich, and against Chelsea. And who knows, can we keep this going? Chelsea is on paper the hardest, but Norwich is the local derby. And of course, that's not going to be an easy game. So let's get on with it. Panathinaikos await. Yeah, I'm holding up really cool. Things are going well. And I just hope it's going to continue to go well here tonight. Could do with a good start. I've made a couple of tweaks. I'm going to play one of these attacking mids as a shadow striker now. And possibly need people moving into the channels. Silver's going to move in the channels. And also I put both wing backs on attack. It's a very bold move. I think we're better in defence than we are in attack. So let's get some attack going. Going to go positive. I've actually come off the counter press. And we're going to go into a mid block. And just sit in a mid block. I might actually up the trigger press against Panathinaikos. Just sit in this mid block. And with the more standard passing, hopefully with the slightly higher tempo, we will create chances and score some goals. There is a warning in the emails about one of the players, but I did click on his profile, and my scouts recommend only sign as a last resort. So I don't think we really have too much to worry about. So with that in mind, let's go and see if we can't get these points against Panathinaikos. He does want a low block. He's been low block mad ever since the start of the season. It is possible, because I am aware that there are gaps in our midfield, and they're going to play a direct style of play, which is why I've come back into a mid-block to try and squeeze the space. I don't think they're that pacey, so we'll play with a higher line as well, and see if we can't just attack them and get a positive result here. Yeah, I know I don't have many on the bench to play with. We still have a couple of injuries. Scott is returning to fitness. He is apparently able to do 45 minutes. And that's good news to get Scott back. He's been out for, 6 weeks now. And he's been missed. So let's go and have a look first at what he wants to do in terms of opposition instructions. They're going to play. I think they're going to sit back, and then they're going to launch attacks. I think it's Guras was the player, and yeah, only sign as a last resort. So most of their squad, actually, it says only sign as a last resort. So I'd be hoping that we can get a result here today. Let's hope so. It's a fairly strong team. It's not my strongest team, and we have been on a good run lately. And let's get out there and continue it. Let's make it 6 without defeat. And or is the pain going to continue? Our fortunes have to change at some point. Morstat commands a place in the team. He is the top forward at the moment. 2 youngsters, a 21-year-old and 19-year-old, are obviously taking time to settle in. And I'm not quite sure what we are in. That's about right. And I'm just hoping that we will put on a good show tonight and get the 3 points in the bag. We need that because we kind of haven't been performing as well as I wanted to in the Conference League. Excuse me. But I know we can do better, and I think we will get through quite comfortably in the end, I think. I think we should be winning it. That's my actual personal opinion, is we should be good enough to win it. But can we win it? Who knows? We're going to have to play better together. We're starting to do that now. So let's hope, with the tweaks and more attacking approach, that we're going to start putting results together. There's nothing much happening at the moment, but we are dominant, as we should be. Every one of their players, my scouts are saying, only sign as a last resort. And I think that's the kind of football that they're going to play, which is why I've decided to go. Hey Spike, long time no see. How many seasons am I in? This is season 5. We did well for the first 2.5, but it's kind of like got pretty poor over the last season or so, season and a half or so. It's got pretty poor. Third season we reached the semi-final of the Europa League, having won the FA Cup in our first season in the Prem. Morstart's offside. He does get offside quite a lot, that boy. I'm going to start, I think I'm going to look at training him to beat the offside trap. I don't know why he should, because he's not playing as an advanced forward or a poacher, so I'm not quite sure why he does stray into those areas, but he does. But he also does score most of our goals. Him and Atom at centre-back score most of our goals. Yeah, Spike, my day of football was quite enjoyable, and although I did overrun making the video this morning, and we've scored, and it is Silva, who's also maybe starting to play, and we have scored. There's nothing wrong with that. No offside, no fouls, and it's going to count. So yeah, you're managing Ipswich in your save as well, are you? It's not an easy save. As I said, I found it quite easy in the first 2.5 seasons, and we were really progressing very well, but it's all fallen apart. I think part of the problem is I'm bringing in too many players each year, and so I've made this pledge to myself that we're not going to be bringing in too many players anymore, that we're going to let our young players develop together and see what happens over the next couple of seasons. If they can gel together, they're all young, and they may well become a very good football team. There's a couple of wonder kids that we have. My scouts don't find many wonder kids often, but they have managed to find 2. They're just not settling in at the moment. One's 19 and one's 21, and they're just not settling in. And it might take a couple of years for them to actually feel settled and part of Ipswich. But I remain optimistic about them. But in terms of this season, I'm not optimistic at all. But we do, I think, have to be a little bit more attacking. We have to provide some width as well, which is why I've got both wing backs on attack now. The one area that does worry me is the midfield. I'm not sure that the ball-winning midfielder is the best role, but it's difficult to find a role that fits the players. So as they're mostly ball winners, I guess we're stuck with that role for now. But at the moment we're doing okay, and we're beating Panathinaikos. On paper, they looked like a big team, but they're not really a big team anymore. Their days of Champions League are long behind them, I think, especially in Football Manager at least. Gouras is being a bit of a nuisance, but nothing too much at the moment. Yeah, I can't just go and sign players that I know. I can't go and sign players that are recommended. I have to sign. I've always done that. I only ever sign players that my scouts find. If they don't find them, I can't sign them. So that's always been my golden rule, and it continues to this day. If I have previous knowledge of players from previous leagues, so for example, if I managed in South Africa, and I managed in Brazil as I did in my journeyman, then my knowledge of those leagues I can use. And I did bring in the journeyman, I did bring over 2 absolutely special players from Coritiba to Newcastle from Brazil. So if I'm aware of the player, I can sign them. I've been playing Football Manager for 15 years now. Coming up 16, I think. I first started in 2011. And they are a level. Oh boy. Pain goes on. Pain goes on. I did possibly make an error by going with the higher line. And that little through ball just got them behind the line. So that's possibly my error, but I just wanted to compress the space in midfield. It's been an issue, and they've taken advantage of that space. I just want to check that I want these to close down less often. As they're actually playing higher up the pitch, I don't want them closing down, running at the wingers, trying to close them down. Again, a poor pass. It's sometimes painful to watch this team. And I don't know why they're not gelling together. We've done enough team bonding now. What is interesting about this save is that I keep getting approached for interview by big clubs. I just always wonder, is FM trying to tell me something? That this Ipswich save is going to end in disaster. And here is my chance to get out because it's offering me all these clubs. I mean, I've had job offers from AC Milan, from Juventus, Bayern Munich, Newcastle, Manchester United. Not job offers, but interviews. Maybe FM's trying to tell me, time to get out, sunshine, or this is going to end in failure. And they are getting behind me. This high line is not a good idea. So I am going to drop the line, just to give my defenders a little bit more time to deal with that nonsense coming over the top. And they're not attempting to play football by the look of it. They're just attempting to put long balls in behind me and see what they can make of it. And we've got to do better. This is not good enough. At least we're getting our shots on target. We haven't had many, but at least we're getting them on target. But some of these players need to step up now. It's getting to the time where early season has gone. We've got to step up now. We've got to start producing. And we've got to start creating chances. That's not how I want to create chances. Those are nothing chances. I'm guessing an XG of probably 0 because we don't have very tall players up front. And that's better. That's a better cross. If somebody could have got on the end of that, that was a lot better. There's a couple of boys who are suddenly very tired. They're not being asked to press. It's not very high intensity. So I'm not quite sure. And they've dominated the game. So I'm not quite sure why they are tired. I just want to have a look at the possession. We have 63% of the possession. We're not running after the ball. So I'm kind of wondering, why are they tired? Looking at Arribas and Timon, both of whom have suddenly found themselves very tired. But we've got to do better than this. We are a better team than this, and not quite sure why it's making this so painful. I do say in my videos, if you like seeing people suffer playing the game, you're definitely in the right place. We do have a chance. It's silver again. And we're 2-1 up. Get in. And now we're back in front. Oh boy. I've had better saves than this, and we're now up to 7th in the table, which makes me a little bit happier. Good evening, Neil. How are you doing? I don't know if you saw, Neil, that little short that I put out the other day with the volley with the Sunderland player. I don't know if you saw that, but that animation, I absolutely loved that animation. Except the only problem with it, when you zoom in on it, which of course has nothing to do with MatchLab, when you zoom in on it, he never looks at the ball. That's the only problem that I have with it. He's actually at one point looking over to the right instead of where the ball comes from. But that's skill. That's real skill, that is. You don't even have to bother looking at where the ball's coming from. But apart from that, it just looked absolutely spectacular. All right, cheers, Neil. I just decided let's do something a little bit different. And I was actually quite surprised by the result that I got first off. So we're going to have a look to see if they're using the data hub and the what's it called? I've forgotten what it's called now. The chalkboard, to see if using those can actually improve your tactic, can improve how you play. After I'm done with this session tonight, I'm going to spend some time in the data hub looking at Ipswich and can we improve what's going on by using those tools? Because at the moment it's dire and there must be a way to improve this. But we are getting behind them. We've even got a centre back out there putting some pressure on them. And it's all Ipswich, and I'm surprised we're only 2-1 up. That's better. I want those crosses low. You notice we've got McKenna playing at centre back. He's still annoyed, but still nobody is, apart from one who's Finkgraf. Oh, it's gone in, own goal. And so now it is 3-1, and I think no less than we deserve. Hey Vasila, Vasils, how are you doing? Good to see you. And that's exactly where I want him crossing from, which is why I've included the underlap, so that we can get closer to the edge of the area. I'm not going to do that at the moment, because it will slow everything down, and I don't want to slow it down yet. So we're not going to do that. I'm 3-1 up at half-time. I like what I'm seeing. Yeah, we have had a lot of shots on target, and everybody's playing well. We don't need to say any more than that. Except for my goalkeeper. He's not having the greatest of games. I'm just going to check in. He's made a few changes. He wants this Limnios timer to only sign as a last resort. They're not that good. I don't know what's the matter with him. So we are going to start the second half, and let's hopefully add to what we've been doing. Just looking at this name, Vasilis. Stephen, how are you doing, my friend? Who is my favourite manager? Oh, okay. Yeah, we're going to get some of that nonsense again, are we? Actually, we haven't created that many chances. I thought looking at the highlights, we'd created tons, but we haven't. We've just got every one of them on target, except for that one. Limnios, he wants him tight marked. I don't think that there's a need to tight mark him. I don't think we're in that situation yet. What is he playing? He's playing as a winger, isn't he? So we'll just direct him to cross the ball. So we'll take a look at Limnios. I don't think he's much of a danger. He's playing as a right winger. His crossing is probably his best ability. His balance is pretty poor. So we'll just send him out onto his right foot. And we'll tell Timon not to close him down. Just let him go outside. I don't think we need to tight mark him. And we do have another corner. mid-block might be better for us. But I'm not sure we can play with a higher line. Higher line to me didn't look as good as the mid-block. At least now we've got some bodies in midfield. And I am concerned about the midfielders. They're like bumping into each other, getting in each other's way. It's almost like we don't have enough bodies back there. So it almost demands a higher line or a low block, which will also compress the space. Hi, Saws. How are you doing? Oh, it's the same person, isn't it? See you later, Sudhir. Well, I think that we're going to have 3 points here. This is good news. Silva's not having a bad game. He's on at 8, and this doesn't happen very often. He is 21 years old, classed as a wonder kid. Doesn't happen very often. I do think if we spend a couple of years just buying young players, don't go crazy. Stick with this lot if we can keep them. And then just bring in 1 or 2 more 21-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and let them all develop together. My scouts aren't very good either, because they've been scouting Brazil for about a year now, and they still haven't found a player. And also, I think the same is for Argentina, which is very strange if you can't find a player in Brazil. There's a lot of things about this save that are just very strange. We have brought on a couple of our own. Morstat and Atom in particular have been extremely good coming through the youth system, and he's probably now the best forward that I have, Morstat. And I think it's time to make 1 or 2 changes now. Timon is still tired. We don't want to let them back into the game either. I am gonna... Oh, FM, you've got to like take that animation out of the game. Even when it's for us, it looks horrible. FM, you really need to take that out of the game. Goalkeeper picking it up and then taking it over the line. That is a horrible animation, and it happens way too much. Even when it turns out to be a corner for myself, I still don't like it. Okay, let's make some changes here. Scott can come and have a game now. So Arribas can be replaced by Scott. I'm going to take off Morstat and bring Winkler on. Winkler, is he the 19-year-old? Yeah, 19 years old, classed as a wonder kid. Yeah. Not showing me how good he is yet. And Timon needs to come off as well. So come on, boys. Let's see this out. 3 points in the bag. And our run of going without defeat goes to 6 games then. And that's not something that happens very often. I am wondering, for Premier League games, would the low block be better? It's something that's been on my mind. My assistant keeps saying low block, low block, low block, and I haven't been listening to him. And I do wonder, is he right? So I think what I'm going to do for the last 20 minutes is just go into a low block. I'm just going to test it. What happens when that does compress the midfield a little bit more? And what happens when we do go into a low block? Does it help us in terms of the connect between the players? I mean, it won't affect our attacking, but will it help us in terms of filling up spaces? Will it help our passing? Because with too much space, they might be struggling to connect the passing. But it'd be difficult to see any improvement because it's been all Ipswich anyway. I love this view. I mean, you're a little bit further away than the TV view, but I actually love it because you can see the back line and you get more of a view of the entire team, and it gives you an idea of whether it's working or not. So yeah, I do actually like this view because I can see right across the line. I can see my midfield players, the positions that they're taking up. They're not taking up great positions, and I know we have an issue in midfield, and I don't like that be the ball winner role, but it's very difficult to find another role that actually fits the players that I have. So I'm stuck with it. I'd like to play a Volante on support, I think. And I might actually try that. He needs to come off Garosibal. So it might be worth trying that just to... right back I'm short of, aren't I? So Badgetic will have to fill in at right back. He's not a wing back on attack, but he might as well give it a go. I'm going to leave my goalkeeper at 6.3 now. I don't want to take him off. It's a waste of a substitution. But I'm going to change Dominguez to a Volante. I'm just going to put him on support. He'll be a little bit higher up, but not too far up that he ignores his defensive duties. So we'll just give that a try. Hey, Mr. K, how are you doing? So the answer is Neil. I love the sideline view. I always used to play in TV view because it got you closer to the pitch. But I can see more from this. Before I was doing YouTube, I used to often play in 2D, even though the graphics were really good. I'd often play in 2D because if I'm not sure, I want to see exactly where the players are, where they're moving to, whether they're leaving space. But this has helped me a lot with that. And they're going to get behind my wing backs. They're certainly becoming a little bit more attacking, and that's maybe because we have gone into a low block. I'd like to see Winkler getting a goal. And I'd like to see you giving him a pass, Mr. Scott, rather than taking it all on yourself. Since half-time, our shots on target ratio's gone down as well. Go on, we've got an overload out there. Nice tackle, though. 2 good tackles by that fullback. Maybe I should sign him. Not the greatest cross in the world, but Bajetic has been playing like an emergency role for me. He's played now as a centre-back and as a full-back now, so he's kind of doing a good job, Mr. Bajetic. And there it is. Winkler's scored. That's what I wanted. Give him a bit of confidence. You mainly playing still in 2D, do you? I can recommend this sideline view, Mr. K, because you can see exactly what's going on. And like tracking a single player. For example, if you've got a player who's out of form or just can't seem to get involved in the game, you can actually track where he's going. See where he's positioning himself, and that might give you an idea of why he's not getting involved. And just a little secret before the Newcastle bit of the Data Hub Villa save, I have noticed that there's a disconnect not only in midfield, but there's a disconnect with my forward. So I have to somehow work that out. How can we get the forward more involved in the game? Watkins actually in the next game only received 12 passes. So he's just not in the right position. He's not involved enough. So we got to figure out a couple of things in that save. And you're running it on a laptop, are you? Yeah, if I was running it on my MacBook, I'd have to run it in 2D as well, because it's just not good enough for the 3D. Well, we need to just see this out now. What I'm going to do, just slow it down. We'll time waste a little bit now. We'll slow everything down. And don't need to do anything more. But I don't need to counterattack now. And we're already set up. We come off the press a little bit. Give them a little bit of a rest. The trigger press is also something that the team are struggling with. And it might be that's too high. I just set it before the game. I wanted to put pressure on this team. It's worked for this game, but it might be too much for the Prem. Might not be. Do I have another sub I can make? Yeah. I have... Wait. One more sub I can make. Valesco looks a bit tired. A lot of them are looking a bit tired. Goalkeeper's improved. Yay. He's gone up by 1. João Gomez probably could do with a rest. So Dominguez will have to... Oh no, Makengo can come on for João Gomez. And that's it. Well, that's our subs done. I'll take this result, 4-1. I mean, I did have a little worry about them, but then when I started looking through their players and found my scouts are saying only sign as a last resort, I thought, come on, boys, we've got to be winning this. if they're not good enough for Ipswich, then they really should be beaten. And they have been beaten, soundly beaten. Trigger press becomes a lot harder to do with our mod. I'm cautious with it now, especially if you're playing better teams. Yeah, I mean, the trigger press, they will get used to whatever trigger press that you want them to play, but it's taking this team too long. So I hear you, Neil, and it's possible I need to come off the trigger press for the Premier League. I knew they were a weaker team, so I wanted to put pressure on them. I don't always play with much higher trigger press. Have we not guaranteed ourselves? No, not yet. And we will go and rest these boys now. They've done a good job. Take a day off. I don't know quite what I did there. But it seems like on this keyboard, if I hover my finger above one of the buttons, nobody else needs a rest, do they? Okay, so they're having a rest. Good to see Scott getting his first 30 minutes, and we do have to now play Norwich. And that is a big game. And in terms of the league, they're in 14th and we are in 15th. 15 points could take us up. Because I don't believe all those teams are going to win. So 15 points would be good. But beating Norwich is not going to be the easiest thing in the world. Let's have a look at them. Good left back. And Marco Flores is in the best form at the moment. Who is he? Oh, he would be a striker. But they don't look to me like the greatest of teams. Like their teamwork is poor. So again, a press might disrupt them. Their composure's not very good. They might be susceptible to a press. Looking for other stuff. Decisions not very good. Again, pressing them might, and they don't have acceleration. And they're not very aggressive. I still think that the trigger press would be quite useful against them. As they're passing also, if we put them under pressure, they could break. Not really. They create good chances from set pieces. We want to avoid being in our own half, basically. So I'm tempted to go, depending on how they play, wing play. I'm tempted to play higher up the pitch. But if I play high up, then I'm going to increase the amount of space available in midfield. But if they're playing wing play, are they even bothered about the amount of space that's in midfield? I want to put them under pressure, and I'd like to really put them under pressure and be aggressive. They don't have pace, so even though they're playing wing play, we could play with a higher line. Gone back to one of my old games. I have to get good all over again. I'll be spending all my time on that game. It's all coming down to the wire, James. There's still about 4 teams who can claim 2 spots, I think. It's just gonna be an interesting Sunday. Shame it's not all on TV. So I think I might. I don't know. I can't keep changing things, so I'm going to start this way. And I'm going to trigger press them because of all the weaknesses that they have. And I think that's probably the right thing to do, is to trigger press them and give them a hard time. Because we should be doing okay against this Norwich team. It shouldn't be that difficult. Makengo 6.3. That's really not acceptable, Sunshine. I'm also wondering if I should focus down the flanks and play a little bit wider. Things that I can really only work out if I go into the data hub and to the chalkboard and just get an idea. Spend 3 or 4 hours looking through that to see if I can find things. So Meslier comes back in goal for definite. And I think something's happened to the team here. I think Atom comes in for McKenna, who's not registered. Joanne Liu fit yet? I think Joanne Liu could play in this game. We're going to attack them. And Dominguez, João Gomez, I'd like them to start. They're both fit. Badgetic is the reserve centre-back now. So Garosabal comes in here. Alonde. Oh, I'm going to play him here. He's not the greatest playmaker in the world, but maybe he'll do a job. I want him in for his set pieces, basically. I do have Alex Scott available. Winkler scored, so he can come in for more stat, and he can play as a complete forward. Arribas on the bench with Scott and Morstat. Pablo Marin is really struggling to get in this team. The only problem with Pablo Marin is his inability. He can play as a segunda. He wouldn't be an extremely good one, but he does need game time. So I might put him on the bench, although it's difficult to know where. Just maybe Scott can only... Yeah, he can come in for Arribas. And then Grenbach, who can play as an attacking midfielder, he can go up top if necessary. That makes sense. Because maybe I should be playing these boys as a segunda. And we're going to give that a try again. So Silva and Winkler, I thought I had them in the team. He wants them switched over, does he? Okay, we'll do it that way. Do it your way. And this is a big game. Really don't want to lose against Norwich. I was just going to have a quick look at what the supporters are feeling about Norwich. finish in mid-table, get the better, which is required. Get the better of Norwich is required. So this is a big game. Hoping we don't get dropped the concussion protocol on Botman. Did he get hurt again today? I didn't see that. I watched the game. I didn't. But then I was doing bits and pieces, cooking, etc. while watching. Did he get actually hurt today? It's for a neutral like me. It's going to be a really exciting. Got smacked in the head again. It's going to be a really exciting Sunday next week. Shame it's not on TV, but I will be following it in various places. Boselli is in form. He's doing very well. And we are doing very well. We've now gone 6 games without defeat, which is why every game now is worrying the crap out of me. Because is this the game that we are going to get beaten? We really don't want to be dropping down the table much further. I don't want to be in a relegation battle at Christmas. We need to work our way out of this poor form. The expectations from the supporters, interestingly enough, is that it will be a draw. Hope the team can carry on with a style of play that's impressing fans. I'm thinking about what they're saying. Do I want to play Alex Scott instead of Velasco? Might make sense. Is he fit enough? Is the question. He's just such a much better player than Velasco, so it does make sense. He could then, if he's not really much of a shadow striker, so we'll leave it at that. Scott might be a better playmaker. He's only recommended for 45 minutes, Scott, so we'll bring on Velasco again. Come on, boys. We're home. We should be beating Norwich. And we are at home. You can see the familiarity is gradually building up, and trigger press they're not happy with now, and that's quite interesting because they were happy last time. I'm really struggling to know how to set up the trigger press with them. Again, it's not looking very good, so I don't think they know how they want to play with the trigger press, let alone follow any instructions. They just don't know how they want to play. If I make it more often, does that change it? It's still the same. So while they were pleased with it last time, they suddenly decided we can't play that way again. It's a very, very odd thing. So that's the team we're going with. And we are hopefully going to put pressure on them. We're not going to counter press. We all know these games against our rivals, it won't be easy, but make sure you give it everything. I'm expecting to see solid defence. I don't expect of them very often, but today we should be expecting them to do their best. They've got Cole Palmer playing up top, have they? Has he got... What's his finishing like, Cole Palmer? It's pretty decent, isn't it? Definitely needs a hard tackle. He will be a threat, Cole Palmer. I'm pretty sure of it. Especially as with us last season, he did not play very well at all for Ipswich last season. It was pretty poor, I thought, all round. And I wasn't too impressed with him. I do want to make sure that they're not closing down so much. So that they can't do that and get behind us. They are pretty good at set pieces. We noticed that in the scout report. But we are also pretty good at defending set pieces. According to the data hub, we're pretty good at defending set pieces. And I forgot to bring Meslier in. That's the big mistake that I've made for this game. I forgot to change the goalkeeper and take my cup goalkeeper out. So we need to keep an eye on the goalkeeper, because he had an absolute stinker last time. But that's good. Creating chances already. What kind of football? Hi, Drawer. What kind of football do I like besides English football? Obviously I like the Champions Leagues and the Europa Leagues, and I followed them all along. I used to follow the German Bundesliga, but they started to play years ago. They started to play very defensive football, rather like the Italians were playing, and I kind of lost interest a long time ago. But I'm prepared to watch any football that's good. I just enjoy football in general. It's Cole Palmer. He is going to be a big danger, isn't he? I'm not sure about the merits of tight marking him, because I'm pretty sure he's going to wander around, but we'll keep an eye on that. We need to focus on scoring goals. We've got good players up there. We need to focus on scoring a couple of goals. We didn't do too well last time out against Norwich. I think we lost last time out. We do owe the fans a victory here. So let's hope that we're going to score some goals. We've got Atom back in the team now. Deadly from set pieces, and he almost got one there. So it was good to give the cup goalkeeper an extra game or two. Well, I could have claimed that that's what I was doing, but it's better to hold my hands up and say, "Oh God, how can you be so stupid?" And I'd already said, "Yep, Meslier has to come back in," and just simply forgot to put him in. But let's hope he has a decent game. But at the moment, he gives me kittens every time that he takes to the field. He is young as well, on loan, come in because we had a goalkeeper crisis. And we could only bring him in by offering him the cup goalkeeper slot. But he hasn't done bad. We're not out of Europe yet. And he hasn't done bad. Give credit where it's due. And that was poor from Juan Lu. Expect better of him. You can see they are focused totally down the flanks. So that's why we've got a standard line. Our shots are not on target yet. We need to get one or two on target to make me a little bit happier. I'm watching for the press. Back to goal. He should have pressed more. And that was better. That was pressing more. And that was Timon. Who should be pressing these areas. Oh, that was a good save. So maybe it was a good decision to bring in to leave Stankovic in. But it's all very even. Possessions even. Our pass completion isn't great. What's going on there? It's offside, is it? I'm looking at where their wing backs are. They're quite high up. I'm wondering if there's a possibility to get players into space behind their wing backs. Can we do that? But our best bet might be Atom at corners. And he is a free kick and corner specialist, Alande. But again, he's not been delivering properly. And I can only put that down to the fact that it's all about team bonding again. But I don't know how FM is going to keep this going until they're bonded. But as long as we don't lose against Norwich, I'll be fairly content. Atom. Come on, Atom. You can put one of these away. Who was that? I don't know. Couldn't click on him. Shots are not on target, but one more on target than Norwich have had. Come on, Atom. This time, boy. Oh, another one he's put just over the bar. Come on, Atom. You're better than this. So my wing backs are quite high. So I'm wondering if we should provide more width. Get out there and give these fans their money's worth. Talk to some of the individuals. And just check in with the assistant. I do wonder, should I play with more width? No, I don't want to play with it at the moment. We're not doing that bad. If we can just get one goal, I'll make us favourites to win. That's where we might get some joy, is down here. I'm thinking about playing with more width and going a little bit more direct. The big spaces out here. Although we're not very good crossers of the ball and we're not very good in the air. So playing with more width isn't probably a great idea. It's just going to have more of those crosses into the box. Oh, it was a very good save by Stankovic. They are creating the better chances. But it looks to me like they have better forwards. Cole Palmer and Sargent are better forwards than we've got. What the rest of the team is like, not sure. At the moment, we're just giving the ball away. Somebody needs to do something. I'm going to actually try this pass into space. I'm not going to do anything other than just say pass the ball into space and run onto it. Timon has been our most dangerous player. So if we can get the ball into space out wide, I think that we might create a couple of better chances, but this is good. Looked like a penalty to me, that. But it's a bit wild. The passing is a bit wild, isn't it? There's no composure with them. Stankovic is not having a bad game. He's only on a 6.9, but I'd give him more than 6.9. And it is very, very even. Very, very even contest. But I still think visually they've had better chances than we've had. And I think they've decided that they can play up the middle now. They're using all the pitch and playing much more of a controlled possession style, which makes me wonder, should I push the line up? Because they're certainly playing in front of me at the moment. I think it would be a good idea to push the line up. And in fact, I'm going to push all the lines up now. Because they're kind of playing the game in that area. And I want to stop that. So let's push the line up. Well done, Stankovic. He's still capable of making a mistake yet, and he may well do. But so far, so good. Got to get the ball out to Timon as well. He's been the best player. He's not getting the ball very much. So let's focus play down the left-hand side. Let's try and get the ball to Timon. Whoop, the game just recalculated something there. Did a very quick recalculation. In whose favour is the question? That was a trip, referee. Like book him or something. That's FM. We get a foul and they get a free kick. That's FM. I always remember that from 2015, I think. Every time we had a foul on us, the opposition restarted with a free kick. I think that was 2015. It was quite funny. So that's better. Now look for Timon. Can't find him. I mean, when we're counter-attacking, we do have a lot of distance to cover by playing deep. So going more direct might be an idea later on. That's another terrible pass. And that's cost us the game. Who was that? Told you the game did a little recalculation there. Whose pass was that? Dominguez. Allegedly a very good player. Oh, boys. We just cannot play in the Premier League. Just cannot do it. And no, please, not Norwich. Juan Luz had an absolute disaster. Dominguez, what can I say? Let's give Marin a game. And then these two Herberts up front have not played very well at all. I'm just going to switch them round for a minute. See if that helps. Velasco can come off for Scott. See if that helps. And I may put Marin on an attack duty. We've got to go for it. We've got to go for it. So let's put him on an attack duty. He really can't do that, can he? Oh, I wonder why we can't play in the Premier League. Is it the press? Let's come down off the trigger press. Let's see if what Neil said is correct. Timon's exhausted. So we might as well stop focus down the left now, because I'm going to have to put Finkgraf on. And take on Morst. What happened there? Oh, we've got a red card as well, have we? Winkler's been sent off. Oh, this game gets worse and worse. Oh, how can you do this to me, FM? And one of these will have to go on support. Ah, boy, oh boy, oh boy. And why is Timon still on the field? I didn't even know what happened there. I hate the Premier League. I really hate the Premier League. This Ipswich team, since season 3, middle of season 3, cannot play in the Premier League. Finished in 8th in the first season, 8th in the second season. And how can we be a relegation side now? I swear that's why the game has been offering me these interviews. It's the same as what happened at in the very first save that I did with Notts County. 2 brilliant seasons, 2.5 brilliant seasons, and then it all fell apart. but I kept getting offers for top jobs. And in that save, I could get out. And I did. Went to Bournemouth first, and then Bournemouth fell apart, and then I got a job offer at Juventus. Went there, that fell apart, and got a job offer from Bayern Munich. When actually I'd never won anything. We've given away a penalty as well. It's just getting worse and worse. We're not on get stuck in. No, we know. It's just the game decided this. I saw it make a change. The game made a change and recalculated. That's it. We're doomed. Defeat in the Premier League again. I don't care about winning in Europe. I need points in the Premier League. I really don't care about the Conference League. But you keep making me win in that and lose in the Premier League. And that's it. Game over. Yeah, wasn't Stankovic's fault. It was Dominguez. Dominguez just decided to throw the game. Our passing, though, has got worse and worse and worse. Looking at it, he wasn't even good in the Panathinaikos game. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. The statistics indicate we're in control of the game. We're not in control of the game at all. Don't know what stats he's reading. I think I've got to go back to positive. We got to do something here. See, giving the ball away again. Our passing just is horrid. So I wonder, just get them to lump the ball up the pitch. Because we cannot pass the ball at all. Go route one. And that's what we're going to play in the Premier League now. We're going to play route one. Because there's no point in trying to pass the ball. Oh, route one seems to work then. I don't think it's had time to take effect yet. Finkgraf, one of the youngsters who came through, passes it to Morstadt, another of the youngsters who came through the youth development. That's got to be the future. Forget the transfer windows, because everyone I buy is rubbish. So we'll just forget that. Just get young players in. Apparently they are not very strong, not very brave. They've got no aggression. And yet they are totally out-tackling us. And they're bullying us off the ball. So not bad for a team who are not very strong, no aggression. Come on, we could still get something out of this. Oh, we're miles offside. They were all like standing in a line. Didn't they see? Hang on, there's no opposition players here. Couldn't they see that? Yeah, they're out tackling us. They're out passing us. They're out scoring us. I mean, we are so bad. So bad. Just get it forward. I've told you to get it forward. Not messing about. He's bundled it in. I'm surprised the referee is not giving that as offside, because that's what normally happens. Could we win this? Has this going direct made the difference? Forget about passing it. Just get it up the field. Oh yeah, like in primary school, when I played football in primary school, like ask the teacher, what tactics are we playing? We don't bother with tactics. You just lump it up the pitch, run after the ball and try and score a goal. And if the opposition have the ball, you run back as fast as you can and you try to stop them scoring a goal. That's the tactic. Got it? Yep, got that, sir. So maybe we should play that kind of football, primary school football. We might even design a tactic and call it lump it up the pitch. There's still time to get a winner. Get on with it, Stankovic. I told you to lump it up the pitch, and now you decide to lump it up the pitch. There's nobody there in midfield to pick that up. What's happened here? Offside. That is the issue. There is no one in midfield covering that space. And if we can't cover that space, we have to push the lines up. And if I push the lines up, they're going to get behind us. There's still time. No, there isn't. I'm afraid you let yourselves get bullied off the ball, boys, which is really poor. Right, that's better. That's what I want. Lump it up the pitch, but it's too late. But it's 2-2. I said I'd be okay with a draw. 2 late goals there. That doesn't happen often. I don't know what to say. Yeah, you weren't good enough. Yeah, okay. That was a good result. The red card, though, doesn't help, because it was a straight red as well. I think we've drawn our last 3 Premier League games now. Oh, we could see what happened there, because I've absolutely no idea, because I went into make a substitution. I have no idea what happened. Oh, yeah. Okay. Fair enough. You know an FM sending off when you see one. I think we've drawn our last 3. So this is moving as well. Crazy stuff going on here. We drew against Bournemouth in the Premier League. We drew against Aston Villa in the Premier League. Well, we did beat Brentford. We've drawn 3 of the last 4. So I guess our unbeaten run continues, but it's not in the way that I want it to. Chelsea's going to be harder, and we have to play them on Wednesday. So, and we're away. So I need to rest these boys again. Tomorrow morning, I think I'm going to have a day of data hub. Not only am I going to be moving on in the Aston Villa save, but I really need to sort this out. And I need to go through the data hub with a fine tooth comb. There's something wrong and I can't see it. I'm going to play the form players in the next game. There's something going on and I cannot see it. I mean, maybe my assistant is right. Maybe I've got to go into the low block and play proper counter-attacking football. And get the ball up the pitch. Just play proper, pass into space. Get the ball up the pitch. Familiarity's gone up. Although the passing style they don't like, but I don't like the way they're passing, so we're at a stalemate. So one of us has to give here, and I'm afraid it's not going to be me. You're going to have to play like that, because every time I see that Dominguez-style error, and it happens a lot, it just breaks my heart. They're not very good at crossing, so we need to force them outside. That's although these guys, no, crossing 11, we force them outside. Sterling is the same. Can cross, but his left foot is pretty weak, so force them outside. I need to change that now to far post. That Norwich, how we came back from that, I don't know. How we came back from that, no idea. Now, Chelsea don't have much aggression, but by the look of it, neither do we. What I'm going to do is go and have a look at the comparison. Let's look at first the physicals. Can't see ours. It's weird. Where is ours gone? I need to fire the guy who's doing. This must be ours, but I can't see it. And this must be Chelsea's. So the technicals, the only thing I can do is look, because I can't see what ours looks like. I got the figures, and they are better technically than we are. Mentos. Oh wait, I can see it now. Just about. Because it's dark blue, I can't see it, so. Yeah, they are better technical team than we are. Their mentals are not that much difference. They're better, but it's not that much of a difference. And they're a better physical team than we are. Their aggression, although the report says they don't have much aggression, neither do we. For a Premier League team, you'd expect that to be at least 13.5. They don't do long shots very well, which is good to know, because that means I can drop the line. And they're going to play in front of me, so we're going to play with a low block with a standard line, because they can take shots, I don't mind. And we're just going to have to play better than we did last time out. Hey Mohammed, how are you doing? Where's the Sunderland save? Tomorrow. We're going to be doing that tomorrow afternoon. I don't want to watch the draw. It'll take too long. West Ham. Oh, that could be removal from the cup as well. Although I am pretty good at sussing West Ham out now. Yeah, this time Meslier comes back in. Mostert will play up top. In fact, we'll put Silva up top. Is he coming back to fitness? Not quite yet. Arribas can go onto the bench then. And Garosabal will come back in. He is terrible at the moment. I'm going to drop him back to support, because we're going to play balanced in this one. It's a very, very good question, Mohammed. I'm still not convinced that there will be an FM26. I'm still not convinced that it's going to happen. The reason why I'm saying that is that we're now in the middle of May, soon to be coming into June, and there's not been an announcement of any kind since the middle of December. And that kind of worries me, that we should have heard something by now. At least a couple of screenshots or whatever to say, look, everything's on track, boys, you don't need to worry. What I'm actually hoping is that the Unity project is bigger than they thought it was going to be. Much, much bigger than they thought it was going to be. And it's not something they can do in 2 years. So they've got a backroom team working on updating this version a little bit, so that in reserve, if the Unity Engine 1 is not ready again, they'll have at least worked on this version and they'll have a new one of this to come out instead. That's what I'm hoping. I don't feel optimistic, and I said this to someone the other day. I don't feel optimistic there is going to be an FM26. Not at this point in time. Dominguez, does he get another chance? Or do we put someone else in there now? Let's put Makengo in there. Let's give Makengo a game. Teach Dominguez a lesson. You can't go around doing shit like that. Arribas, yes. Now I don't have a striker on the bench. Ugh, Velasco is a striker. And he's not particularly playing very well. I'd actually sell him if worst comes to worst. So I'm going to play Scott. Velasco can sit on the bench. Arribas is one of the form players who's at least doing his bit. So Arribas may have to come in for... Oh, Allende is playing quite well. Scott's playing quite well. It's the same as Fink, Graf and Timon are both playing well. Badgetic is playing very well. Scott McKenna is playing well. But I think I'll be happy with that setup. Happy-ish, anyway. And we are going to try out forgetting about passing, because it's just destroying me inside. Who's... Winkler's thought to be... Wow, the European Golden Boy Award. You're having a giraffe. Chelsea are clear favourites. Oh boy. So we're going to sit in this low block. We're going to have a standard line. I don't want these boys closing down. Neither of them. I want us to be more disciplined as well. And to dribble less. And maybe we'll play for set pieces. Meslier is out of form as well. Like, I couldn't be worse. Everyone is really not functioning. Let's try it. Let's try this no-nonsense approach. I need to tell the goalkeeper to kick it long. Let's go. He's on take more risks. I don't want him taking risks. And I don't want him passing it shorter either. So I'm actually going to tell him to distribute it as far as you can. Wanting a new contract. I don't think he deserves one at 31. It's doing whatever it can to disrupt things. What's his current deal? Actually, just have a look, see if he... So, I'm going to ask, if I can, McKenna to have a word with him. Although I don't think McKenna's going to be too happy with me. But he's happy enough to do that. Is he going to listen to McKenna? No. I have to tell him wait till the end of the season and then sell him. Right, okay, that made him happy. I don't know how I got away with that, but I did. Not for me. I'm pretty good. Gosh, there's some good names coming in. Ace Ed. I'm pretty good. Boy, you've got some great names coming. There's some lovely names coming tonight. So yeah, Sunderland is tomorrow again. FM26 we've answered. What's my favourite team in England? Manchester United, unfortunately. But we've still got a chance of a trophy. So who knows what might happen. I actually fancy Spurs to win that. Spurs have got the evil eye on us this season. They've beaten us 3 times already this season, Spurs. I expect that to continue in the final. Quite frankly, United shouldn't be in the Champions League anyway. We're nowhere near good enough for that kind of football. And it would be embarrassing to watch if they are actually in the Premier League. He won the Premier League. Oh, it's a young player. Yeah, like I said, it would be really an embarrassment to watch them in the Champions League next season because they're not going to be good enough even next season. It's going to take years before they're back to where they were under Fergie. And he has to bring in players who, if the Man United are going to trust Amarin, then he's got to bring in players who can play that system. He can't bring them in one transfer window. Because at the moment, the players he has cannot play the system that he wants to play. I don't know whether the system is good or bad. Sometimes it looks good, but most of the time it looks awful. But that's because of the players he has. Mastantuono, Franco is back fit again. Scott's still only 45. Get 60 out of him. And Arribas is fit. So we can put Mastantuono on the bench if we want to. Okay, let's do that. I'm really, do I really want to be just knocking the ball over the top? I don't know. Because with 4 players up the top, who knows? But these boys are perfectly capable of lumping it up the pitch. I think that's our best chance against Chelsea. I think if we try to pass our way out of trouble, we've seen how bad our passing is. Chelsea will murder us. Oh, Mostat, show why you are the Premier League's young player. God, blimey, look at this. Has he got a weak left? Yeah, let's turn him onto his left foot as well. He's a dangerous player, Reece James. Not much more I can do. We are certainly not going to pass our way out of trouble against this team. Sit in that low block and just defend for your lives. I think we're in a low block, aren't we? Yeah. The 2 wingers. I need to deal with the 2 wingers, don't I? This geezer, whose crossing isn't very good. Pretty sure his crossing isn't very good. So we want to put him on his right foot. And Sterling as a weak left foot. So just send Sterling out to the left as well. I might even, if they start doing that nonsense, I could even lower the line. Hey, Pedro. Just watched the last video about the Data Heaven chalkboard. Well, it's I wouldn't say it was amazing, but as the series unfolds, it's going to uncover a lot of stuff that people can use. And I've just found something else. I was looking after the video was published. I went in, had another look, and I found that we have a real problem with both strikers that I have, Duran and Watkins. And so there's another thing that I have to solve. And solving these things is not going to be easy. So we're going to look at how we can solve the problem with the strikers as well as there is a problem with the winger. It helps you identify where particular problems are. And I just thought, let's do something different. Combine a save with the data hub and the chalkboard. So it's, if people don't know that it actually exists, and I've been talking sometimes on my stream, and I've just mentioned, oh, I've seen that in the chalkboard, and I used to use the chalkboard quite a lot. People say, what's the chalkboard? And the others would say, can you show us where the chalkboard is? So, as I said, SI estimated that only 1% of people used it. And they're the diehards who grew up with that stuff. It was a spreadsheet game, and it's a stats game. And so we kind of grew up with that, and I never stopped using it. And I just think it's interesting, and it gives my brain something to think about. And, yeah. I'm actually not sure the route one is working, because there was that long punt and nobody was there. So I have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, the data hub contains so much information, but also if you use it in combination with a chalkboard, there's so much more in there. And the chalkboard just gives a little bit more depth than the data hub gives. So it's cool to combine them. Yeah, see, Reece James is a very dangerous player. In fact, Chelsea are a very dangerous team. But they are allegedly not very good crossers of the ball, which is why I'm playing the way that I am. Just to try and make them cross. But they look quite dangerous to me at the moment. But if we can just sit in this low block, just defend. Just got to keep an eye on those two. Who is Tommaso Baldanzi? Never heard of him. He must be rubbish. Baldanzi. He's the attacking midfielder. I need to push him outside. So I need a big game from Time. And Reece James, I think I'm just going to close him down. He worries me, Reece James, in FM. I just need to remain compact, boys. We can have the wide spaces. I don't have a problem with that. What you don't want to do is to close him down and let him come inside you. I don't want him driving in here, so just shadow him out there. At some point we've got to start winning in the Premier League. You cannot survive just drawing games. And this team has got me to desperation point now, where I just want to defend and for dear life. And try not to get players sent off. Oh boy, this could be a long afternoon, or evening, I think it is. Can't see him, it looks over the line to me. I was doing the tests, testing 10 times to see if we could get that 60-40 result. My goalkeeper, actually, something like that happened. The ball bounced off the bar straight into the goalkeeper's hands, who then suddenly, for no reason at all, just threw it back into the net. That was just one of the most... I wish I'd recorded that. I thought it was the funniest thing. He just like had a tantrum and just threw it into the net. And I wish I'd recorded that, because that would make a brilliant short. It's just so funny. I was looking at that. I thought about that. Well, we just need one chance and score, and we'll FM Chelsea. But we can't even take a free kick anymore. It's just painful to watch. We can't pass the ball to a teammate when the ball is a free kick. That's how bad this team is now. This role as well doesn't need to be a volante anymore. He can go back to being a ball winner. He can go back to being an attacking mid on support. So he comes a little bit deeper into the banks of four. Chilwell, though, might be a good crosser of the ball. So it might be prudent not to have Chilwell going out there. Didn't see Chilwell there. Yeah, he's a very, very good crosser of the ball, so I would prefer him coming inside. Well, this long pass nonsense isn't working, is it? There's nobody far enough forward to be able to do it. I don't know. I am at a total loss what to do with this team. Everything I have tried has failed. And it's not like I'd given up trying, but I'm on the point of just giving up trying, because no matter what I do, no matter what I tweak, no matter how I play, they just cannot play. They are just no good. So either I've had two extremely poor performances in the transfer window and wasted the club's money, or something else has happened inside the game engine. Yes, I am, Michael. I'm using version 1.4. Oh, I thought we were going to create a chance then. It was coming. Oh, of course it's onside. Was that supposed to give me some hope, FM, was it? Of course it was onside. He's behind the ball. What was that VAR check? Just to oh, it might be offside. We're in a relegation battle. We're supposed to finish in mid-table. We're never getting near there. I suppose I could say relax and play the rest of the match with freedom and confidence in yourselves. Why not? And let's go back to what we were doing. Let's try and get some possession. That's fine. And we'll go back to a mid block. Let's not worry, that has not worked since I introduced it. Let's take all that off now. Go and play with a little bit of freedom. Go and enjoy yourselves. Because this is pointless. I'm just looking at those ratings and thinking, what's the point? And the problem is we're never going to be good enough. It's going to take years. Just like Manchester United, this is. It's going to take years. Found that keeping team instructions super balanced. Standard passing and tempo. I was playing on standard passing, standard tempo. It wasn't working either. That's how we set it up at the beginning of the season. Fairly narrow we are playing. So standard with a mid block. We've been playing in a mid block. Yeah, I'm doing exactly the same as what you're saying there. So it's just the team it is. And we've had this for the last 2 seasons. They just can't play. And I put it down to the fact that it's to do with team bonding. Because I have made probably 10 transfers in each of the last 2 windows. And I kind of put it down to the fact that it's to do with team bonding. They just can't play together. And I've made a pledge to myself. I'm not going to bother in the transfer window anymore. I'm just going to replace players. So most of this team soon will be very young. Most of them are very young now. I might as well just let them develop. Okay. Let's have it. I'm willing to listen to anything. Supremacy. Absolutely willing to listen to anything. I'll give it a try. And I can promise you it won't work. We've tried so many tactics. We've tweaked so many things. Oh, but telling them to go and play with a bit of freedom. And we're back in the game now. This game drives me bonkers. So by all means, Supremacy, tell me what you think would be a good idea. I mean, I've had one. Yeah, okay. Can you just write down what you've got? I mean, I know how to import tactics. I've been playing this game for a long time. But can you just write down in the chat what the basics of it is? So we've had one suggestion from Michael, and that's the way I've been playing anyway. So, I thank him for the suggestion, but that's how we've been playing anyway. And suddenly that one little comment and just deciding to go back to what we were doing has actually changed our fortune. So there's something weird going on. It's not about the tactics I've been using. In the first 2 seasons, we were almost unstoppable. I thought we were going to be champions of the Prem within probably 3 seasons. And a lot of people in the chat thought that way as well. But then it's just suddenly suddenly gone absolutely AWOL. For no apparent reason. But maybe I should tell them to play with freedom every week. Go enjoy yourselves. Okay, advanced forward, ball playing defender. Should go to CDs. AF as strikers. I don't have wingers. And I don't have anybody who can play as a register. That's the problem. I did look at it. I've been trying to find a role for these midfielders for a long time. So I'm not playing with wingers. I don't have enough players who can play as wingers. So that's going to be a problem as well. Right, let's change some of these bozos, but they're actually playing quite well, and I'm reluctant to change anybody. João Gomez is very tired. Dominguez is going to have to come and do his stuff. Switch those over. So you want probably short passing. Yeah, with much higher tempo. Yeah, the only problem with that is I don't have any wingers. So we stopped using wingers. So Valesco's going to have to come up front. He can do that. Scott's having a very poor game. So Arribas, who's the man in form, really, can come on and play that role. And I might switch those over. And that'll do for now. Yeah, I've played something very similar to that Supremacy before, but it requires wingers, unfortunately. But thank you. I mean, I'm willing to listen to anybody. I mean, the instructions for me are more important than the actual shape. So I'm reading the instructions now. So how did you come up with that tactic then, Supremacy? So, yeah, I mean, and that is another issue. You're asking this team to play high control possession when they can't pass. They're probably the worst passing team in the league. And if we go and look at the dynamics and the comparison, I mean, we'll find that they are probably one of the worst passing teams in the league. So it's like... They're one of the worst pressing teams in the league as well. And maybe the problem is not with me. Maybe the problem's with the fact that we don't get enough money to buy proper players who will improve the team. And I think what we do every transfer window is just bring in the players of the same quality that we already had. So yeah, this is really is a conundrum. But if we get something out of this, then I will be like, there's something wrong with the game. Because we don't deserve anything out of this. They are playing with a bit more freedom now, aren't they? It's too early to close the game down at the moment. Oh, here's a goal. Oh, it's saved. I mean, yeah, as far as tiki-takas go, it looks good to me. But you're asking this team to play a passing game where they are probably the worst passing team in the league. I think this issue is not about tactics. We've tried so many different ones. This issue is something deeper than tactics, and I don't know what it is. But I've got to try and find out what it is. Oh, is that offside? I thought we were going to create another chance. I mean, I've thought about it is time to close the game down now, especially if we score from this free kick. Oh, we nearly did. So I think it's probably time to close the game down now. Although I'm very reluctant to stop doing what we're doing. I don't want them to press so often. I'm going to take that off. A slightly higher tempo, do I need that? I'm just going to keep doing basically what we're doing. But now I am going to up the time wasting. So that one little team talk, which came out of absolute despair, go out there and play with expression, it's all over. And suddenly we're almost in with a chance here. This game is driving me nuts. This save is driving me nuts. Our unbeaten run looks like it's going to continue. But it's another draw, which is pointless. We haven't got it yet. So it looks like Chelsea are going to have one last chance. I mean, in all fairness, if they score, I can't complain because we scored a very late winner against a very late goal against Norwich, so I wouldn't be able to complain too much. Well, that looks like it. We're going to get a draw at Stamford Bridge, are we? I will work this out eventually. Tomorrow I'm going to spend the morning in the data hub and looking at the chalkboard and trying to figure out what is going on. There's something not right. These roles in midfield are not right, and they need to be changed. There's something that's not right. The problem here is deeper than I can see at the moment. So I'll figure it out. I mean, what happened last year is we couldn't play for a long, long time. And this is what happened last season. And then suddenly we started going up the table and we ended up in 8th place. That's why we're in Europe. So all is not done yet. Although the 8th place looks pretty distant at the moment, the way we're playing. It seems to be mirroring what happened last season. And it kind of like there's something going on in this save deeper than I can figure out at the moment. But I'm going to find it. I'm determined to find it. These two roles I know are not right. And I've got to find roles that work together that I've got the players to play. If you know what I mean. So maybe if he was an anchor, then he's just going to slip into the back line. Well, only when we're going forward. And allow these boys to get forward. And then we'll have a kind of a 3. Volante staying the same, getting up into these areas. I don't know. And then something about these. Maybe 2 advanced forwards. And 2 attacking mids. Maybe that will give us a little bit more in this space here. I don't know. There's something going on. But once I crack it, we'll move up the table. I'm pretty sure we will. I don't know at the moment what's going on. I know it should be better given... Or we simply haven't improved the team. And maybe what I think is improving the team is not actually improving the team. And I've got to stop in the transfer window. And maybe just spend all my money on someone who will strengthen the team. And rely on the others to do the job and just to replace players who get sold. I don't know. So much of a big... Yes, there is a big gap between the attacking mids and the DMs. And I'm very aware of it. This is why defensive mid and a deep line playmaker. Yeah, I'm going to be looking at this. That's a good suggestion. A defensive mid and a deep line playmaker. So if we have a defensive mid on a defend duty possibly, and then we have a deep line playmaker on support. Yeah, definitely going to push these 2 higher up. But if I'm thinking that if we then had these 2 deeper, that would close that gap as well. We've also then either keep him as a complete forward or we can push him forward. So if we play him as an advanced playmaker, he's going to slip into here looking to pick up those passes. Definitely something that needs looking at, as I think while these are on attack, they're not contributing in this area here. defensive midfielder and a deep lying. 2 CMs. You think that would work better? 2 central midfielders. And a centre mid on support. Then we're creating gaps here. We could do a box to box, a very simple little role. They're all natural ball winners. They're all natural at ball winners. So we can play a ball winner along with a DLP in central midfield. Keep the left centre mid. Asymmetric, we could do that. Go asymmetric. And then he can still play as an anchor, possibly. And that means we could have this wing back more attacking. And then a DLP in centre midfield. That'll work for me, but drop the CM left into the DM. Yeah, that's what we done. I'd say it's a conundrum. It's an absolute conundrum that I need to get to grips with. I've thought about using a DLP on support here. I don't know, it's just a conundrum at the moment. But while they're both here, unless I play with very high lines, I'm going to have space here. If I go back into a low block to compress the space, in which case I've got some leeway with the defensive line. But if I play with a high line, and a standard line, I'm leaving far too much space. So I gotta compress the space in order to do that. So at the moment I'm playing in a mid block that compresses it a little, but when I pull the line back, I open up that space again. So it's a conundrum. Anchor on DM. Anchor or DM on support should work well with the DLP. And then they're both going to be on support, remember. Which might not be a bad thing. You might be right. I still think no matter what tactic I use, it's going to fall down. I think the issue is more than just a tactic. I think it's way more than just the tactic. I'm going to go into the data hub and the chalkboard tomorrow and spend hours in there tomorrow morning, get up early and have a look in there. And see if I can't see anything. I'm going to track player movements. I'm going to delve as deep as I can into all those details, and hopefully I'll find something, because this is quite a deep problem. I've tried 4-3-3s. I have tried the 4-1-2-2-1, which always works. I've tried 4-4-2 even once. I've tried all sorts of stuff. They just cannot. Your wing back should be on support. it's too aggressive with attack. Possibly, yeah. Because if he's on support, he's able to support down this side of the field. He'll support not only support in here, but he can support in here as well, without going too far. I need to have one wing back on attack, otherwise we're just going to have only a narrow threat. Yeah, I need to sit down with this, look at the players that I've got, and then just totally start from scratch. And I'm going to go into the data hub and try and figure it out, because so far I've tried about, over the 2 seasons, I've tried about 8 different ways of playing, and it ain't worked on any of them. And I think it's the quality of the players, and it's also to do with the team bonding. The more I've team bonded, if we look at our results, we haven't lost for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. We haven't lost for 8 games. It's not pretty in the Premier League, but we haven't lost. And this is since I started introducing the team bonding. So if team bonding has produced that from this, then I'm going to go along with this and keep doing the team bonding, because eventually I'm going to get these as well as the yellows. Eventually that will happen. And I'm absolutely convinced there's nothing wrong with the tactic and I should stop playing with it. It's to do with team bonding. And I'm going to keep putting those sessions in. And yeah, since I introduced team bonding, we haven't lost a game. So that may be where the problem is. They just don't play well together. But I'll have a look tomorrow morning. Thank you so much, guys, for all your suggestions. I really do appreciate it. But this one's a tough one. I mean, if you like, I will leave you the file, the save file as it stands. And then you can take the file away, load it in, and try out your tactics in it. If you want, I can do that for you. What I can't do is just keep changing the tactics all the time. And I've been doing that too often. I cannot keep doing that all the time. Tweaking, moving players here, moving players there, changing their roles. I can't keep doing that because eventually they will just give up. So they've got to get used to... yeah, hopefully, Jamie. But our form has turned. We haven't lost in 8 games. We haven't won very many. But we've won 4 and drawn 4. So our form has definitely turned. And the only thing I can associate that with is the team bonding. Because I know it happened around here somewhere. That's when I started thinking I've got to do some team bonding here. There, it's just not working. So I'll take that for now. The transfers, we can have a look at the transfer history. So Marin was a desperation transfer because I didn't have enough in midfield. He's just come in as a fringe player, so he's not really important in any way. That's this year. Winkler is a wonder kid, but at the moment he's dreadful, absolutely dreadful. He's just like, oh my God, he's just like a horrid purchase at the moment. But he's classed as a wonder kid, and his attributes pretty much, for 19 years old, probably put him in that category. And he's improving, but he can't play in that team yet. No way. Dominguez is a very good defensive midfielder that I've signed before and has done a really good job for me. But at the moment, he's not doing it either. And he just cost me the Norwich game, the Norwich win. Meslier is a decent goalkeeper, but he's absolutely awful. He's been awful. Improving slightly, but has been absolutely awful. Makengo, not a great player, just a decent player. All I could afford, really. It cost me a lot of money. Actually came on a free, but he cost me a lot in wages. Goalkeeper, another wonder kid, 19 years old. To me, looked the business at 19 years old. He's not settled, can't play within this team at all. He's not very good at all. 2 wonder kids. Grinback has the potential to be a very good player. But again, he's not cutting it. He's just not cutting it. Technically a good player. But he's just not doing it for me. And then João Gomez, just a defensive midfielder. I loved his mentals. Was within a price range that I could afford. And brought him in. Alande, I brought him in simply because of his free kick taking and his corner taking. That's why he's in the team. His form has been decent, but we've not seen any of his corner taking or his free kick taking yet. And then Stankovic is just a reserve goalkeeper. Who's okay for the price. So, given the money that we had, we did well. But we brought in how many players? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 players. So, that's the problem, is we had so many players leave that I had to bring in players to replace them. Money was short, and we did pretty much a good job based on what we got in and what budget we had. We had very little budget. So I think, and as I said earlier on, I think what's happening is we are replacing like for like. So we are not improving the team. We're just bringing in players who are similar to what we had before. Winkler, who's a wonder kid, and possibly, who's the other, Silva, really shouldn't be playing regular football at the moment. They should be getting the odd game. However, both of them wanted to come in as important players. They fancied themselves, and but at 19 and 20, they shouldn't be regular first-team players. But that's FM stuff. If I was managing in real life, they would not be regular starters at that age. Not unless they were exceptionally brilliant. And so far, these are showing that they're not exceptionally brilliant. I know you could quote, what's his name from Barcelona? Yamal. Is it Yamal? Lamina Yamal, who's 17 years old and a brilliant player. That happens. but I'm not seeing it from these two. So in real life, they wouldn't be regular starters. And I should have somebody much more solid and experienced playing up front rather than these two. But I don't have the money to bring those in. So I like quicker centre forwards, to be honest, Jamie. Pace for me is everything in FM. I don't know what I'd do. I'm certainly going to look in the transfer, in the data hub and in chalkboard tomorrow, and spend several hours in there trying to work out what the hell is going on. But it's not just this season. It's been the last 2 seasons. And we've tried at least 8 different ways of playing. Oh, did you, Pedro? Nice of you to tell me that. I've always bought pacey strikers. I'll tell you what will happen. We will recover. And in the second half of the season, when this team learns to play with each other, we will recover. Exactly the same thing that happened last season. What I've got to try and do is break that and start playing well at the beginning of the season. You can already see that with the team bonding, we're improving. We are not been beaten for 8 games. That's an improvement in anybody's stretch. We have to play Southampton, Debrecen and Brighton next. I feel quite optimistic that we'll get points out of those games. And that we will start moving up the table. Come the second half of the season, they will have learned how to play together. And we will be putting better results. But what I have to find is a way to deal with the beginning of the season, because this is not pretty. But I'll take this. 4 wins and 4 draws. I'll take this for now. It was one of the main goals of the mod, to decrease how efficient and... Okay. Okay. But my transfer windows don't mean anything at all now. But I still like to have pace. I think it's good to have pace in your team. But I can certainly leave you the file, guys. If you think that you can turn this around with one of your tactics, I'll leave you the file. And then if you do turn it around, I'd like to see it. But I would say I am turning it around, because that is much better than that. And I would say they are getting better. What I need to do is keep up the team bonding, because that seems to be having an effect. I mean, today we had a 4-1 win. The Norwich game, well, it's always going to be tight. We did well to come back from 2-0 down and somehow rescue that. And then that one comment that I made in the dressing room, go out and enjoy yourself, boys. That game turned around. We could have won that on another day. So, yeah, we'll keep going doing what we're doing. I mean, at the end of the day, if I get sacked, I get sacked. But at least it won't be. I won't get sacked for not battling and not trying to find out what's wrong. I will go down fighting, as it were. It won't just be putting a tactic in, running it in key highlights, and letting the game do everything. I'm determined to find out what's wrong. And hopefully one day I will. Well, it's good to know they're still effective, Pedro. Otherwise, I just wasted a lot of money buying pacey players. Oh, thank you for that, Pedro, at least. So if I use... Yeah, I need to... I've downloaded it already. So I just want to quickly test it. I've got a Watford save that I use for testing all this kind of stuff. So I just want to test it. And I'll install it and see what happens. I'm willing to find out as we come to hopefully the end of 24 what these things do. So it gives me something to do, rather like the new save I've got going with Villa. Gives me something to do to focus on while I'm waiting to see if there is going to be an FM26. So, yeah, I've got to figure this out. Otherwise, if I don't figure it out, it doesn't make me much of a manager. And I think what I am doing, there's a number of things I'm doing. I'm replacing like for like in the transfer window when there's no reason to do that. Just spend the money on one player. Or two players if I can manage it. The rest I can do in loans. So that would be my new transfer policy. And then I am tweaking things far too often. Out of panic, and then like people in the chat telling me, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. I start tweaking the tactic. I start changing it. The familiarity in terms of the tactic is still not very good. They're still very confused. So I got to just stay with what I'm doing. But there is something deeper going on. And I need to find out what it is. Hopefully soon. Hey Callum, good to see you, mate. Yes, I saw the cup final. Absolutely delighted. You know me, I love an underdog, Callum. So absolutely delighted I was. Rearguard action, just like us against Chelsea just now. Lovely day. Yeah, please do, Pedro. That'll be interesting. I'll try and load it up. I've got a little bit more time on my hands this week. So I'll try and load it up and have a look at it in my Watford save over the next few days. So thanks for doing that, Pedro. I'd appreciate it. And so now I think I'm going to go and have a cup of tea and have a think and try and work this out. There is a way. There is always a way. It's a computer game. And when there are problems, there is always a way out. You just got to find it. And sometimes it's buried deep. But I'll find it. Otherwise, I'm not much of a manager. Or I'll get sacked, whichever comes first. Thanks for coming along, guys. I appreciate it. Enjoy what's left of the night. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea. And I will be back with Sunderland tomorrow. Is it tomorrow evening? When is the... I think it's tomorrow evening. I'll have to check. But it could be in the afternoon. I think it's in the evening this week. I think on Wednesday is the Europa final. So that will definitely be in the afternoon. This will be in the afternoon on Wednesday. I want to watch the Europa final and enjoy that or hate it or however I'm going to react to it. But I'm going to watch it. Thank you for coming along, supporting me, giving me all your ideas I do appreciate it comes out of care. It comes out of concern, I know. When times are hard, you're trying to help. I do appreciate what you're doing. Hopefully times won't always be this hard. But I will see you hopefully in the Sunderland. Those of you who watch the Sunderland stuff, I'll be back with that tomorrow. Back with this on Wednesday. Thanks for coming along, guys. Stay safe. Take care. Be happy. Enjoy your night and see you soon.